Hearing the cleric's words, we immediately turned around in fear but couldn't see anyone. Then, as I turned back to ask the cleric about the woman with 3 eyes, I saw her standing right behind the cleric. Habittra said, "Look, Afrin, even my mother-in-law has come here." The cleric gave a gentle smile and threw the pen in his hand behind him. The pen turned into a thin white thread and wrapped around the demon who had taken my mother's form. But she tore the thread and attacked the cleric from behind. She grabbed the cleric's head with her sharp nails and said in a terrifying voice, "Dear Jamal, I've finally found you after so long. Anyone who tries to stop me will be finished. No one has the power to stop me." Habittra ran to save the cleric. The cleric was trying hard to free himself from her grasp. Habittra picked up a chair and hit the demon with it. The chair shattered into pieces, but she was unharmed. The demon turned to Habittra with a terrifying roar. Seeing this, Habittra said, "A madman doesn't understand pain. Don't give sweets to a madman." "Sorry, I forgot and hit you, mother-in-law. Did it hurt?" Hearing this, she got even angrier and threw Habittra away with a flick of her eyes. Habittra fell far away and said, "Just because you didn't like the song, did you have to throw me so hard? As your son-in-law, you could have given me some leeway." I ran to him. "Bia, are you okay? And why are you joking at this moment? The cleric is in danger." "I'm fine, Afrin. Go and free the cleric from her grasp. She will kill him." She was now holding the cleric tightly. The cleric was trying to recite prayers but couldn't. As I was thinking about what to do, I saw the cleric signaling me to take the burning torch. I quickly grabbed the torch from the corner of the room and charged at the demon. Seeing this, she released the cleric and started to flee. The cleric, free from her grasp, quickly got up and took some water from the pot on the table and threw it towards the door. As soon as the demon reached the door, she screamed and turned back. The cleric took the torch from my hand and advanced toward her. She started screaming loudly, "Don't come any closer. Let me go. If anything happens to me, none of you will survive. Let me go from here." Laughing, the cleric continued to approach her. "Do you think you can attack me and then escape? I have made thousands of evil forces like you bow down. You will too. No, don't do this. Let me go. Let me go," she said as she backed into a wall. Then the cleric said, "This isn't your true form. Show your true form, and then we will talk." But she refused to return to her true form, repeatedly claiming, "I am not a jinn. I am Afrin's mother's spirit." Hearing this, I said, "My mother is dead. We have all accepted it. You may have fooled my father, but you can't fool me. Why are you doing all this with your evil powers, taking my mother's form?" Laughing, she said, "I didn't come here of my own will. I was brought here. Your father brought me." The cleric asked, "How did he bring you? And why would he summon a demon like you to endanger his own children?" She remained silent. The cleric advanced with the torch and demanded, "Answer what I've asked, but first, return to your true form. Look at the wall, all those terrifying sketches of demons. They are sketches of beings like you. When they left, they drew their own sketches on the wall. I hope yours will be there too. So, it's important that you return to your true form." Reluctantly, she covered the third eye on her forehead with her hand and bowed her head. Habittra and I looked at each other, wondering what was going to happen. The cleric watched eagerly, waiting to see her true form. After a moment, she looked up. A terrifying face with 3 eyes. The eyes were completely black, and one ear was torn. Her hair was pure white. The skin on her face was wrinkled like an old person's. Habittra said, "Even a mirror wouldn't support this face. The mirror would turn away. If I had such a face, I would wear socks on my face instead of on my feet. Nobody in the jinn world gives you attention, so you came to Earth to flirt with Afrin's father." The cleric said, "Wait a bit, Galib. I know her. I've encountered her before. Her name is Habittra." In her deep voice, she began, "Yes, my name is Habittra. I am 4,500 years old. I am a jinn who targets people who have lost their dearest ones. I possess them, making them believe that they can bring their loved ones back. We have a large group of jinn like me. The mark of our group is the third eye. All the jinn in our group have 3 eyes. We have deceived many people in this way. Now it's Afrin's father's turn. Couldn't you find anyone else? Why my father? Not only did you limit it to my father, but you also disturbed me a lot. And my brother is missing. What did you do to him? Asterisk asterisk. She said, when a person dies, we wait near their grave. We target the person who cries the most for the deceased. That's why it's not good to cry in front of the grave. People don't understand this. The day your mother died, I waited by the grave. I saw your father crying a lot, so he became my target. I convinced him that he could bring his beloved back if he wanted to. He fell for the deceit, and I started contacting him every night in your mother's form. She paused. The cleric asked, Habittra, I gave you a chance last time. You said you would mend your ways, but here you are, starting new mischief again. What do you gain by deceiving people with the lure of bringing back their loved ones? Are you doing this just for fun, or is there another reason? Suddenly, she lifted her face and gave a terrifying laugh, saying, I don't do these things without any benefit. There's always some gain. As soon as she said this, a gust of wind blew out the torch in the cleric's hand, and she, with a wicked smile, quickly vanished like a shadow before us. Galabia exclaimed, What just happened, cleric? Why did the torch go out? And where did she go? Someone else was here to help her. They rescued her. She left before we could find out everything. But I will find out what Habittra gains from all this asterisk asterisk. Who is Habittra, cleric? How do you know her? What did she do before that you gave her a chance, asterisk asterisk? The cleric relit the extinguished torch from another burning one and placed it back in its spot. Then he went to his chair and asked us to sit as well. We sat down, and the cleric began, My father was a healer. He treated patients possessed by jinn and cured them. People from distant places came to him for treatment. As my father continued his work, he somehow realized that he wouldn't live much longer. So, he gradually started teaching me everything he knew. Not to practice healing, but because he knew that after his death, many evil forces would try to take revenge on us. The jinn whom my father had punished for disturbing ordinary people would certainly try to harm us after his death. He was teaching me so that I could protect myself and my family from them. Eventually, my father truly left us. Just as he had suspected, those jinn began to disturb us day after day. Among them was Habittra. There was a boy possessed by a jinn brought from Kushtia while my father was alive. Habittra was the one possessing that boy. Because of Habitra's misbehavior, my father had cut off one of her ears. For that, she held the greatest grudge against my father. None of them had the power to harm my father. After my father died, Habittra tried to harm us the most. Following my father's teachings, I managed to imprison Habittra with great effort. I had decided to kill her, but because she begged for forgiveness with folded hands, I spared her life one last time. She never bothered us again after that. But I never expected to see her suddenly today. She has returned with some new evil intentions. However, she did say one thing correctly, which is that after someone's death, it's not good to cry at their grave. It attracts many bad things. Galabia asked, So what do we do now, cleric? We understand that Habittra has targeted Afrin's father. But why is she acting this way? What does she want from Afrin? That's why I wanted to make her confess, but she escaped before I could. Now tell me everything from the beginning. I want to know everything that has happened, asterisk asterisk. I told the cleric everything that had happened up to this point. I also mentioned that I left the coffin at home, asterisk asterisk. The cleric, looking a bit worried, said, What I suspected is worse than I thought. Habittra wouldn't do this without some benefit. I think Afrin's father made a deal with Habittra, deceived by the idea of bringing back his wife. But what is that deal? Only Habittra can tell us that. Take me to your home now. We won't find a solution without going to the source of the problem. Saying this, the cleric stood up, took a bag with him, and prepared to leave. We followed him. But suddenly, he stopped. Galabia asked, What happened, cleric? Why did you stop? The cleric returned to his chair, placed the bag on the table, and said, "We need to see who Habittra possessed to come here. Was it Afrin or Galeb?" Saying this, the cleric took out a bottle from the bag. The bottle was filled with a kind of black liquid. He poured a small amount of the liquid into 2 glasses and mixed a white powder into them. He then handed the glasses to us and said, "Each of you take a glass and drink this." We followed the cleric's instructions and started drinking. Galabia drank it all in one gulp. But as soon as I tasted it, my mouth felt bitter. I gagged and spat it out, saying, "What did you mix in mine, cleric? Why is it so bitter?" Galabia said, "Bitter?" I drank it and found it very sweet and delicious. I even feel like having another glass. The cleric said, "Then Galeb, why don't you drink the remaining liquid from Afrin's glass and see?" Galabia took my glass and drank it all down, saying, "So delicious." The cleric, astonished, said, "Habittra came here by possessing Galeb's body, and she has chosen to stay in Galeb's body.